Hello everybody, I welcome you all to Bhadra IAS Academy. In this session of Nagaland Public Service Commission, we will be bringing to you the basic differences between wildlife sanctuaries and what is the difference that we get to see between these two terms, wildlife sanctuaries and national park. So the first term being wildlife sanctuary, the second term being national park. Now let's see what is the meaning of this term, both the terms. Wildlife sanctuary. What are wildlife sanctuaries? See, if you see the meaning of both the terms, it is more or less same, because wildlife sanctuaries is mainly meant for safeguarding a certain species of either animal or birds or at times even plant species as well. But if I talk about national park in general, so they are mainly for the conservation of not only the wildlife but overall ecosystem. See, can you see the differences? Here the main focus is on the specifically on a particular animal or bird or tree species, but in case of national park, yes, the focus is undoubtedly over the plant, animal or the plant species, but at the same time we also focus on the ecosystem as well. What are the objectives of it? Undoubtedly to maintain the viable population of that wildlife, particular wildlife, but here the objective is quite larger. Here the objective is to safeguard the natural and historical object of the wildlife of that region. Alright. Now if I talk about the boundaries, then yes, if I talk about wildlife sanctuary, they do not have a fixed boundary, but in case of national park, yes, they have fixed boundary. If I talk about the preservation aspect of it, yes, in case of wildlife sanctuaries, animal, birds, reptiles, insects, as well as different other kind of things are also preserved. But here, the mainly focus is on the wider diversity. That is, the main focus is on conserving the flora. The main focus is on conserving the fauna and the landscape as like the overall landscape I'm talking about, right? Now, there are few basic points of differentiation which we get to see here. For example, if I talk about wildlife and national park, so wildlife has respectively lesser restrictions and they are mainly open to public. But if I talk about national park, they have highly restricted area. Probably if you have ever been to any national park for that matter, you probably have observed that there are extremely restrictions in entering that national park. Right, undoubtedly if there is a national highway going on from that very region, or if there is any railway lines, so yes, there are few of the leverages that you can take while moving from in between. But yeah, there are many regions where in national park you cannot enter without permission. Means, say for example, can you see this very pictorial representation? Right, consider that this is the boundary of the particular national park which I am making on the screen. Right, now can you see that in between this there is a core area? This is that core area, right? And the outside, the dotted part which I have made, this one zone is called what? This one is called buffer area. Alright, so if I talk about the core and buffer zone, in core area if I talk about, there is no human activity that we get to see. But yes, in case of buffer zone, yes, we get to see tourism or grazing of animals are often also done in the buffer zone. Means, see, if for that matter, I remember that last time I had been to Kaziranga National Park in Assam. So there I have observed that we were allowed to enter the national park, right, with the help of a jeep safari, if you know what I mean, right? But we were only allowed to move in this buffer zone. There was a zone which the driver said to us that no sir, for the time being that region is restricted, so we cannot take our jeep inside that very region. So I just got to know, because I was quite educated about the fact what is the basic difference between the buffer zone or the core zone of national park. So yes, it was very obvious to me that yes, I know about it, that okay, this is a core zone, so here probably nothing human activities is allowed. Means humans are except forest officials, probably nobody will be allowed to enter that very zone, right? Next, if I talk about the upgradation aspect, yes, see, if there is any wildlife sanctuaries now in future, that can easily be upgraded to national park. But if I talk about there is a national park, and if you want to downgrade it to wildlife sanctuary, no, you cannot do it. Means, is it clear that means from this very point it is very clear that the designation, that the recognition, that the value of national park is far higher than that of wildlife sanctuary. Yeah. Next, if I talk about the human activity, yes, human activities are allowed but only to a certain extent in wildlife sanctuaries. But if I talk about national park, then no human activities is allowed at any case. So I hope that with this analysis you have got a better understanding of what is the difference between wildlife sanctuary and a national park, right? If you have any comments to it, if you want to add on your knowledge to it, or if you want to add on to your experiences that in past probably you have went to different national parks, maybe, I don't know. So if you have any sweet memories regarding that, you can share it in the comment section below, of course. And also, if you want us from the team of the Bhadra IAS Academy to make any videos on any new topic for that matter, yes, you are free to tell it to us. We will be very happy to make that video for you, right? So this was all about the discussion that we had. We'll be meeting in next session. Till then, bye bye, take care, and thank you guys. Thank you for listening to the whole video. Thank you very much.